Hey there, royal family fans. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. Today we've got an exciting story that's making headlines all around the world. King Charles and Queen Camilla have officially landed in Australia for their very first royal tour as king and queen. It's a monumental trip with many key moments to cover, from their warm welcome in Sydney to the jam-packed itinerary full of meaningful engagements. Stick around till the end and let us know in the comments what you think of this visit. Let's dive into all the details. All right, let's start from the beginning. On October 18th, 2024, King Charles, 75, and Queen Camilla, 77, touched down in Sydney, Australia, for what's being called a historic first tour as monarch and consort. The royal couple's arrival was met with rainy weather, but that didn't dampen the warm reception they received from Australia's Governor-General, Sam Mostyn, and her husband, Simeon Beckett. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and his partner, Jodie Hayden, were also there to welcome them, making it a formal yet heartfelt greeting for the royal visitors. Now, Australia holds a special place for King Charles, as it's one of the key Commonwealth realms where he serves as head of state. This tour is significant not just because it's the first time Charles is visiting the country as king, but also because of the current conversations surrounding Australia's future as a constitutional monarchy. But more on that later. Let's first take a look at the details of the royal couple's arrival and what's planned for their Australian visit. When Queen Camilla stepped off the plane, she made quite the fashion statement, as she always does. She wore a royal blue silk crepe dress designed by Fiona Clare, accessorized with the famous Australian wattle brooch. This brooch holds significant sentimental value, as it was originally a gift to Queen Elizabeth from the people of Australia. Talk about honoring tradition. Camilla was also greeted by a very special guest, 12-year-old Kai, from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Kai, along with his sister Charlotte, had the honor of presenting the Queen with a beautiful posy of flowers, making the moment even more touching. Let's give a big shout out to Kai in the comments below. What an unforgettable experience. Interestingly, King Charles made the journey a little differently. According to reports, Charles left London a day earlier on October 17th, while Queen Camilla took a private vacation on her way to Australia. It's rare to see them arrive separately, but after such a long flight, I'm sure they were both happy to finally reunite on Aussie soil. Now that they've arrived, let's talk about what's next on their agenda. The royal couple will be in Australia for a few days before heading off to Samoa for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, also known as CHOM. While in Australia, they'll be busy with multiple high-profile engagements. Their first stop was Admiralty House in Sydney, where they met with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and his partner for a brief chat. It was a great way to kick off the tour, but it's only the beginning. One of the main events that has royal watchers buzzing is their visit to Parliament House in Canberra. The King and Queen will be welcomed by the Prime Minister and a group of political and community leaders. Later, they'll attend a reception featuring some of Australia's most prominent figures in health, arts, culture, and sports. It's sure to be an inspiring event where we'll likely see more of that famous royal charm. And as always, King Charles's commitment to sustainability will take center stage. He's scheduled to visit CSIRO, the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization, to talk about an issue close to his heart: climate change. He'll be meeting with local firefighters to discuss the ongoing efforts to combat Australia's bushfires, which have devastated millions of hectares of land in recent years. What's interesting is that while Charles is focused on the environmental challenges, Camilla's engagements highlight her own causes. She's scheduled to visit a library in Sydney to meet with children participating in the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition. It's a project close to her heart as she continues to advocate for literacy and education. And later, in Canberra, she'll be joining a roundtable discussion on domestic and family violence, an issue she's been championing for years. For those of you who may not know, King Charles has deep ties to Australia. He's not just the King of the United Kingdom, he's also the head of state in Australia and many other Commonwealth realms. While Queen Elizabeth II visited Australia 16 times during her reign, This marks the first time that a British king has set foot on Australian soil. The late Queen's first visit to Australia was in 1954, and here we are 70 years later with her son following in her footsteps. It's an emotional and historic moment that symbolizes the continuity of the monarchy. Now, of course, we can't talk about King Charles's visit to Australia without addressing the elephant in the room, Australia's ongoing debate about becoming a republic. There's been a lot of talk in recent years about whether Australia should remain a constitutional monarchy or transition to a republic, with a head of state elected by the people. Interestingly, a recent poll by the Sydney Sunday Telegraph showed that support for a republic has actually decreased. In 1999, the last time Australia held a referendum on the issue, support for a republic was at 39.4%. But today, only 33% of Australians are in favor of breaking ties with the monarchy. Even more telling, 45% of respondents said they believe Australia should remain a constitutional monarchy. King Charles himself has been very relaxed about the whole situation. He's made it clear that whether Australia becomes a republic or remains a monarchy is a decision that's entirely up to the Australian people. His aides have echoed the sentiment, saying that the king respects whatever choice the people make. In fact, the Australian Republic movement has even requested a meeting with the king during his visit, though it remains to be seen whether that will happen. Before we wrap up, there's another major part of this tour that's drawing attention: King Charles's health. As many of you know, the king has been receiving treatment for cancer, and during this visit, he's set to meet with Professor Georgina Long and Professor Richard Scolyer, both Australians of the Year. These two are leading experts in melanoma research, and it's no coincidence that Charles is making this meeting part of his itinerary. Melanoma is one of Australia's most common cancers, and this meeting highlights Charles's commitment to health and well-being, even in the face of his own health struggles. So, there you have it. King Charles and Queen Camilla are making history once again with this monumental visit to Australia. Their engagements over the next few days will focus on the country's rich culture, the challenges it faces, and the causes they hold dear. We'll be following every step of the way, so be sure to stay tuned to the channel for more updates. And now, we want to hear from you. What do you think of King Charles's first visit as monarch? Do you think Australia will remain a monarchy, or will it become a republic in the future? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.